Today's video is about a quintet with an impressive legacy of R&B hits. This group is one of the only few old school groups that can boast of having over 40 years in the industry with a worldwide fan base. The centerpiece of today's video is all about the Whispers. Now, before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now, without further ado, let's cue that intro. This story begins at David Starr Jordan High School in 1965 in Watts, California, with identical twin brothers Wallace and Walter Scott, who was performing as a duo named the Scott Twins, while Gordy Harmon, Marcus Hudson, and Nicholas Cardwell performed together as the Eden Trio. The five was participating at their school's talent show. Now, before they came on stage, the five was backstage harmonizing. They sounded so good together that they decided to form a quintet. Walter was drafted into the military where he served in the Vietnam War. Meanwhile, the rest of the group caught the attention of Lou Bedell of Door Records, who signed the group to the label and renamed them the Whispers. The group recorded 9 singles for the label between the years of 1964 and 1967. The group was invited to the Bay Area in 1966 by Sly Stone. Here, the group's popularity grew, and they relocated to that area where they began to develop a reputation as a show-stopping live act. Now, at this time in California, it was a real challenge to get on the radio. And if you didn't have a hit song that was played on the radio, then you didn't get no radio play. Sly helped the group get radio play, which in turn, the group received a big. After 18 months, Walter returned to the group in 1969 after being discharged from the military. That same year, the group released their first charted single with The Time Will Come. The group's sound was marked by Scotty Scott's fluid, melodic voice, which featured on virtually all of their hits. Scotty's sound was so distinctive and likable that in his heyday, he was as recognizable as such noted R&B lead singers such as Ronald Isley of the Isley Brothers. Now, after a series of singles on the Los Angeles label Door Records, the group signed to a smaller LA label named Soul Clock Records, which was run by producer Ron Carson. In 1970, the group released 2 charted singles, Seems Like I Gotta Do Wrong, Nobody Saw Me Walking, and There's a Love for Everyone. Don't worry about who you can turn to. That same year, the group's debut album released, titled The Whispers, Planets of Life, that peaked at number 48 on the Billboard 200 charts. The group left Soul Clock Records and signed with Janus Records. That next year, the group released a second album titled The Whispers Love Story that peaked at 186 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 34 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. In 1972, the quintet released the following singles: Can't Help But Love You, You Cool My Days and You Warm My Night, I Only Met to Wet My Feet, and Somebody Loves You. That same year, they released their third album titled Life and Breath, which peaked at number 44 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. Now, in 1973, the group released a single, A Mother for My Children. Don't need no sister, don't need no brother. That same year, Gordy Harmon injured his larynx in a car accident, and he was then replaced by former member, Friends of Distinction, Lavelle Degree. In 1974, the group released the album Bingo that peaked at 192 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 40 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. Until the late 70s, the group released charted singles such as Bingo, What More Can a Girl Ask For,
All the things a man could need.
In Love Forever,
This way all day, it's hard and too so nice that way. In harmony, sweet melody, just you.
One for the Money,
Calm down, people. Get up, get out.
Living Together,
Sinners, they say.
You're Only As Good As You Think You Are,
We were all put right here.
Make It With You,
Life is for us to keep. If you wonder,
and I'm Going to Make You My Wife.
I'm gonna buy you some rings.
The group then signed with Soul Train Records until 1978 when the label evolved to Solar Records. During this time, the group scored many hits on the R&B and pop charts throughout the late 70s and early 80s, such as All the Way, A Song for Donnie,
Tomorrow, the clouds of dark,
Lost and Turned Out,
lost and turned out.
Can't Do Without Love,
But I'm gonna find a way, 'cause I don't wanna do.
Homemade Lovin',
Ooh, appetizers just won't do. And I know that the main course is
and The Beat Goes On, to mention a few.
still moving strong. On and on. Do you ever wonder?
During this time, they released plenty of albums, most notably their self-titled album that peaked at number 6 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 1 on the Billboard Top R&B Album charts, also going certified platinum. Imagination, that peaked at number 23 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 3 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts, also going certified gold. Love Is Where You Find It, that peaked at number 35 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 1 on the Billboard Top R&B charts, also going certified gold. Just Get Better With Time, that peaked at number 22 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 3 on the Billboard Top R&B Album charts, also going certified platinum. And More of the Night, that peaked at number 83 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 8 on the Billboard Top R&B Album charts, also going certified gold. In 1987, the group released their most well-known single that got them on the top 10 of the pop charts, Rocksteady.
Every part, but I knew love would be complicated. I began.
The group opened up Game 2 of the 1989 World Series in Oakland, where they signed their rendition of the national anthem. That same year, Marcus stopped performing with the group due to ill health. In the 90s, the Whispers joined Capitol Records, releasing more favorites. After being their backbone and selling point since the group's existence, twin lead vocalists Walter and Wallace Scott took time out for their solo careers in 1993, but remained it with the group. Looking to expand their creative horizons, brothers Walter and Scotty cut My Brother's Keeper, which was a critically acclaimed duet album that released in 1993 that peaked at 132 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 18 on the Billboard Top R&B Album charts. The brothers scored an R&B hit with the cover of the Intruder song, I Wanna Know Your Name. Marcus Hudson left the group in 1992 due to prostate cancer. Following that next year, the group's long-term keyboardist, Barry McNeil, resigned from his position in order to spend more time with his family. The 1995 release, Toast to the Ladies, featured a collection of love songs dedicated to women all over the world. In 1997, the group moved to Interscope Records. Throughout the 90s, the group released a string of charted R&B singles such as Innocent,
And suddenly my body fell weak over you.
My Heart, Your Heart,
No other love can give you what you're needing.
Is it good to you?
When it comes to you, the time
I want to be the one for you.
you're looking for one love, I wanna be the one for you. 'Cause like a heart just beats one heartbeat.
And make sweet love to me.
Don't worry about the dishes, baby. Just let them stay.
The Whispers later established their own production company titled Satin Tide Productions, through which they released their independent 2006 album For Your Ears Only. According to the Whispers website, when Hudson passed away on May 23, 2000, they vowed to never replace him and started to perform as a quartet. September 23, 2003, the Whispers' 4 decades of accomplishments was acknowledged when they was inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame. On June 12, 2005, the San Francisco chapter of the Grammy Awards presented the Whispers with the prestigious Governor's Award that was also inducted into the Bay Area Blues Society Hall of Fame in 2006. That next year, the Black Music Academy of America selected the Whispers to receive the Living Legends Award. In 2008, the Whispers was winners of the Rhythm and Blues Foundation's prestigious Pioneer Award. In 2012, the group was inducted into the Soul Music Hall of Fame. That next year, the group was presented with a Lifetime Achievement Awards for their 50 years in the music industry on the Soul Train cruise. And in 2014, the Whispers was finally inducted into the official R&B Music Hall of Fame. Nicholas Caldwell passed away of congestive heart failure in his home in San Francisco on January 5th, 2016 at the age of 71. Ironically, 7 years later, on the same date, Gordy Harmon passed away at the age of 79. In the new millennium, the group still performed around the world to thousands of loyal fans. The group had not made any personal changes and still consists of Walter and Wallace Scott and Lavelle Degree. The trio had taken the world by storm, selling out various of casinos, hotels, and music venues. With the group being so busy, they still have a tremendous following throughout the United States, Europe, Asia, and Africa. However, they still find the time for charity work with youth education, cancer organizations, 100 Black Men, and domestic violence charities. The Whispers are one of the greatest R&B soul groups to ever exist. Now, before we go, I have to address something. The Whispers have a lot of more songs that I didn't mention, but I didn't forget. That's why it leaves me with the question that I have for you all now. What is your favorite song from the Whispers?